Okay, everybody, welcome to our webinar on HR technology solutions for the manufacturing industry. My name is Alan Thurston. I'm with Nettime Solutions, and I'm our events marketing manager, and I will be your host. Joining me on the call today is Ruth Ann Stover. She is our business development manager with myStaffing Pro. Ruth Ann, would you like to say hi?
I sure would. Hi, everyone, and we're looking forward to presenting this manufacturing efficiencies presentation.
All right. So over the next 30 minutes, we'll discuss how HR technology can enhance your productivity levels within the manufacturing industry so that you can eliminate applicant to employee hurdles. Due to the number of participants on the line, I have the phones muted, so feel free to enter any questions you might have throughout the webinar in the chat box on your screen. At the end of the presentation, we'll go ahead and answer your questions. And if we run out of time, we'll follow up with you individually after the call. So today we're going to be covering embracing digital solutions, machines versus people, smart manufacturing solutions, automating your incidents and absenteeism issues, improving labor management and achieving transparency, understanding administrative complexities, how reports can assist with labor questions, and we'll close things out with a few questions and answers. So Ruth Ann, if you would like to get started.
Let's start out with embracing digital solutions within a manufacturing environment. As you know, today manufacturing has evolved into a high-tech environment. From assemblers, zip setters, automation technologies really are dominating the shop floors today, which is why an applicant tracking system can be a natural extension of processes that you already have in place. In a recent survey that we conducted, 73% of employers reported receiving an average of 10 to 20 applications for each job posting. 60% of the employers we interviewed stated that they do this process manually. A manual application process may have some benefits, but it also has many challenges and pitfalls. In an effective recruiting and applicant tracking system, we can find ways to help companies recruit, qualify, and track their employees without having a piece of printed paper in the building. There are three top benefits, which are not too different from the digital solutions that you're using today throughout your plant environments. Number one is to handle volume efficiently. When you think about people applying online, how about automatically parsing data to match experience right into an application process so qualified candidates are quickly identified and moved to the top of the list? Number two, when you move down the line, how about you can set an automated workflow process for application review, and an application could potentially be routed to an HR manager, onto a hiring manager, and eventually to a supervisor. And all of the information that gets routed is documented and tracked inside your applicant tracking system. And number three, retaining information in one place. When you have a single portal for any information related to your recruitment, qualifying, and hiring process, this information means it has visibility across your organization, and it provides meaningful data that can be analyzed for continuous improvement, similar to what you're doing on your manufacturing floors. So the question is, can machines perform better than your employees? What we're really saying is, since humans are somewhat prone to errors, is there a better way to have a unified integrated applicant tracking system to really help create an environment that's a positive environment both for your candidates and for your internal hiring resources? 50% of the employers that we interviewed reported that their internal recruiting and hiring processes worked well, but that a manual process was not efficient, and over 7% felt that their process needed significant improvement overall. And that's what we want to propose. At some point in the process, of course, human involvement is essential. Automating certain steps in the recruitment process will allow HR managers and your hiring managers to have more time to drive an effective recruiting process. You're also able to experience more visibility across the organization and the ability to collaborate with one another. When a paper-driven process is in place, I probably don't need to list the challenges with that, do I? There are 3 key environments that your team can benefit from. Number 1 is getting hiring done efficiently, moving people more quickly into that hiring queue. Number 2, hiring and selecting your top candidates. When you have the opportunity to document information from every step in your process, it makes it much easier to identify your top candidates. And number 3, onboarding your new hires effectively. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. Efficiency, of course, is a boon for everyone. No manager likes to be bogged down with endless paperwork. And no candidate likes to have his or her job application just ignored. A web-based automated system can help your team identify qualified candidates, increase your candidate flow by promoting engagement with social media tools, RSS feeds, and ensure timely responses and communications to candidates with automated email notifications. Once your new hire accepts your offer, give them an easy process for completing their new hire forms in the comfort of their own home, on a computer, on a tablet, or even on a smartphone. By onboarding new hires with an effective process, day 1 comes along and they're much more confident knowing that they won't be sitting down to a folder and writing their name 25 times on each different piece of paper that you have in your onboarding folder. All of this is done electronically, and day 1 is completed. Next, we'd like to just talk quickly through the smart solutions for the everyday manufacturer. Most manufacturers have a high staffing need and they're working in shift rotation, so there's an ongoing turnover situation that they're dealing with. A web-based applicant tracking system can help manufacturers in 3 very smart ways. Number 1, you can filter out window shoppers. Some individuals are basically not seriously looking for a full-time position. So if your need is for a full-time, long-term employee, having them go through the process of recruiting, vetting, and onboarding that you're doing today in a manual process can be expensive and take quite a long time. If that employee leaves you within 6 months, you've got a huge loss on your hands. Configurable applications can help you be as specific as possible about the type of candidates that you're looking for. Number 2, what if you automated the drug and background screening process? When you have very hectic production periods, this step in the hiring process might get missed or might end up taking a long time and become a roadblock to hiring folks. This is just especially true if you're still using a manual process of filling out a background release form, manually entering that information into your background vendor system, and then hoping to get a quick turnaround. All of that can be incorporated into your applicant tracking system as just a part of your workflow and handled very quickly and efficiently. And then number 3, on day 1, if people are filling out forms manually and someone has to review each form to make sure that they're completed correctly, by putting these forms online, what happens is every piece of information that's required is going to be filled out completely, or the candidate's not able to actually sign the form. So we're talking about filling out state and federal tax forms, your I-9, making sure we're confirming our ethnicity and gender information, company policy forms are delivered and signed off on, and even your company handbook. When you have an automated onboarding system in process, your employees, when they show up for day 1, you will already know that all of that paperwork has been completed correctly, and that checklist that you're having sitting on your desk that people probably don't even fill out the way you want them to is automatically filled out because the person filled out all those documents online. So Alan, I'm going to turn it over to you. You've got some information you'd like to share on how to automate your manufacturing incident and attendee issues.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ruth Ann. All right, so traditional manual processes, those methods for time and attendance, they don't really give your employees the flexibility and efficiency that they often need in order to be productive. Working within a manufacturing environment, you'll need the speed and accuracy in order to consistently produce. In a recent survey, 79% of the participants reported that 10 to 20 incident or attendance issues occur within their warehouse on average each month. This can be anything from someone just showing up late or someone simply not showing up at all. 73% stated that they had to manually relay this information to the company's HR department. But with a cloud-based time and attendance solution, employees' time entries are actually recorded as they occur. So because this data is recorded automatically, there really isn't any lag time to process an employee's attendance information. So this gives the manager the ability to review all the recordings as they are recorded and approve or deny any requests. So an employee can view their clock in and clock out details. They can review PTO and sick time, and then they can do it all from one location at any given time. So regardless of whether the team is small or significantly larger, a manager on one screen can see who has clocked in or out, absent from the manager dashboard. So this gives you all of that information. This will come in handy particularly for managers who have to schedule for shift rotations. So another thing that is very important is incidents and tracking. So alert notifications are another example of a helpful tool in order to help managers keep track of incidents. So managers can set up alerts to notify them about a number of items, including when employees are approaching overtime and when any are due for a break or meal, according to state or federal regulated rules. So having an automated system to keep you and your team within compliance is a great way to reduce risk and avoid year-end accounting errors that could result in potential penalties. Another item to consider is improving labor management and achieving operational transparency. So, like many things in manufacturing, automation is the key to maintaining a successful workflow. However, automation isn't consistently implemented for all processes across the warehouse. So as a result, bottlenecks can occur and labor productivity levels might be negatively affected. In another survey, 40% of our participants revealed that attendance was one of the biggest bottlenecks within their warehouse. Another thing, paper time cards. This is an example of a classic bottleneck. If a manufacturing company has, say, 100 employees working within an 8-hour shift, that can be approximately 400 punches to manually enter and keep track of per shift rotation. And that only accounts for a few instances. And those instances would be if you clock in and you clock out, and then your lunch clock in and lunch clock out. So if your warehouse offers, say, a 15-20 minute break twice a day, as well as a 30-minute lunch break, that number can quickly increase to 800 punches per day. Going off a 2-week payroll period, there could be up to 8,000 punches that have to be manually entered. Imagine how much time and energy goes into processing all of that data, especially if one person is doing it, which unfortunately is often the case. They don't really tell you when you get that job that you're going to be the one entering all those manual punches. Regardless of what business you're in, the margin for error increases along with the workload an employee is given. So if you could reduce this risk for your team and your company, wouldn't you do it? Another thing to consider, there's 3 simple examples of how replacing old paper-based systems with cloud-based time and attendance software can improve your workforce systems. The time is tracked in real time, so updates are instantly made to an employee's time off accruals. Managers can review and they can approve time off requests immediately. Because this information is available to them accurately, it reflects the accruals accurately as well. So time is also captured right down to the second at the assigned pay rate. This is beneficial because even if an employee works 1 hour of overtime, your payroll team automatically has the accurate records for that payroll tax. Also, automated software with integration and payroll systems. So doing it this way eliminates the need for redundant manual entry of reports, which obviously saves time. Another item to consider is understanding how administrative complexities can be improved with a better attendance program. Another survey we conducted shows that 18% of our participants revealed they did not know or understand their manufacturing company's attendance policy, and only 16% stated that they somewhat understood them. So usually attendance policies are something that an employee would look at maybe when they first get hired, and then they just get into it. So it certainly can make sense that a large chunk wouldn't even really know what's going on. So as a supervisor or manager, it is difficult to get a clear picture of those costs related to absenteeism. Understanding these costs, how they can directly affect your team from an administrative perspective, can definitely improve your attendance program. As an example, increase in costs for a company can include lost productivity, scheduling, overtime, unnecessary overtime even, unexcused absences, and manual data entry. Another study shows that 38% of the participants felt that scheduling was one of the main administrative procedures that needed to be improved within the warehouse, and 25% it was absences and tardiness. So it's definitely important. So having a fully integrated system to automatically apply the company's absentee policies in real time can cut your administrative burden in half. Advanced time and attendance software can improve workforce management by providing easy-to-read reports. So these reports can be specific to certain things such as scheduled versus actual hours worked, year-to-date hours, PTO balances, overtime, attendance, and tardiness. So how can detailed reports assist with your labor relations? According to another survey we did, 34% of our participants stated that they had to manually request their attendance details from their HR department. So with consistent labor increases, tight profit margins, and competitive advances, manufacturers are always seeking ways to cut costs. Reviewing where the added expenses are occurring within the warehouse should be a standard practice. Unfortunately, sometimes that data isn't always simple to retrieve. And as a result, employee grievances over pay or policy regulations can create setbacks and challenges for line managers and HR administrators. So eliminate unnecessary waste and improve employee performance with an automated solution. Accurate, detailed reporting should be readily available when and where you need it. With a fully ACA-regulated and compliant time and attendance solution, you can review and measure the labor utilization across your organization by location, department, and employee. You can also automate scheduling, PTO requests, overtime, absences, as well as handle all of your employee benefit inquiries. So it's a great way to solve most of your complex manufacturing workforce challenges, a great way to cut costs and also improve operational performance with a united workforce system. So at this point, we're going to answer any questions that we have available here. Let me take a look. It looks like we have one related on the myStaffing Pro side. Let's see, Ruth Ann, if you wanted to go ahead and read that one. Let's see here.
Yeah, I'd be happy. The question is asking whether or not myStaffing Pro can integrate with other HR systems that my company might be using. And that's a great question. It's a very important part of having the right technology in the right place. The numbers of integrations that we have with companies that are interested in getting data from our system into other systems is over 400 to 500, and these might be with your system, your HRIS system, that might be with and inside your hiring process, could be job boards. So we've always made it easy for our system to deliver data from our system into other. That would be a definite. It's a great question. I see another one here for myStaffing Pro, and it has to do with, I think some of you might have an existing, and so the question is whether the position information can be imported or migrated into myStaffing Pro. Also, yes, we have a very kind of a structured way to help organize your data to make sure that when we import it, it's going to land where you want it to and will be easy for you to have a lot of experience with one system to another. And those are the two questions I see.
All right.
Alan.
Yeah, yeah, it looks like there's a few here for nettime. And if anyone had trouble there, I actually had a little trouble hearing you here, Ruth Ann. The question was, can all of my existing candidate and requisition data be migrated to myStaffing Pro? So, and of course, if you may have heard, that was a definite yes. So, so it looks like there's a few questions here. So regarding the time system, do I have to purchase the system or can I pay as I go? So our system is called Stratus Time, and there's a one-time training fee, and payment is actually per employee per month. This can be very efficient if you have a small business, so it's very scalable. It can be as big or small as your business is. So there is another question. Someone asked, does time and attendance software integrate with my current payroll provider, ADP? So the answer is definitely yes. Whether you use ADP or Paychex or any other company for your payroll provider, well, we integrate with most payroll companies. I think the number at this point is somewhere just over 100. And if there's a chance that we don't, we have development in-house, and we're always working on developing our product here. So if we don't have it, we'll make it. We can make it map out pretty quickly, and so that's something that we would work with. So it looks like that's all the questions that I have at this point. Here's a little bit of information. Thank you for joining us for the last half hour. And if you have any more information regarding Stratus Time, the time and attendance software from nettime Solutions, you can give us a call at 800-561-6366 or visit us at nettimesolutions.com to request a customized demo of our time and attendance software. Let's see here. Ruth Ann, if you wanted to include some info.
Sure, for myStaffing Pro, and just fill out an interest form right on the website, and the way you can contact us is by our toll-free telephone number on the screen. It's 800-939-2462.
All right, perfect. Well, thanks for joining us here. And if you have any questions, just reach out to us.